Those of you who were following me playing my piano accordion some years ago now and have very kindly subscribed to me might be very curious to see that I suddenly posted up a video of me playing a concertina. The reasons for this are varied. Some of it had to do with the fact that I was struggling a little bit with the weight. I had quite a bad shoulder for about a year. I had a torn rotator cuff from playing tennis, so that kind of stopped me from playing as much as I used to do. And then of course you get out of practice, and then when you go back to it, you just think this is really heavy. And a few years back I did try playing a concertina, and I gave up at the first hurdle, and I just thought, oh, well, I'm never going to get the hang of that one because it's just buttons and I can't see the notes. And then my husband Les, he's quite prolific on YouTube. He picked it up again as well himself, and he devised a form of tablature which made everything so much easier to read, rather than trying to look at dots on pages and trying to see where they are on a concertina. His tab is available on his website, which I'll put a link up to, but it's incredibly easy to read. And it tells you which side of the concertina the actual notes are, which gives you a very good clue, not only the side, but also probably which row it's going to be on. So that's very, very useful, and that helped me. So I eventually thought, right, I'm going to give this a go. I had an operation on my hand. I sound like I'm always unwell, but I'm not. I had an operation on my hand. I had a thing called Dupuytren's contracture. Those of you in England who perhaps live on the east coast of England will know that the Vikings very kindly brought this over with them. And it creates little lumps in your hand, but they go into the tendons of your fingers, and eventually your hand starts to pull in. So because I play piano as well, I was beginning to feel the restrictions, so I decided to go for it and have the operation done. It wasn't too bad. It took a little bit of recovery. I'm still doing lots of physio on it 6 months on, but my span is pretty good now. So this was a very nice thing to pick up and fiddle around with whilst I was getting better, because I certainly wasn't going back to my piano for a while. And my husband had this already. It was a beautiful little La Chanel concertina. It's very old. I think it's turn of the century. But it's in very, very good condition. It's really quite a lovely thing, and you appreciate the age. And it's light, so it was really lovely to play. But of course, what do you do with those if you don't know what they mean? So with the help of his tab and just feeling my way around it, I started to feel where the notes were very, very quickly. I started off with a slow piece, wasn't going to attempt jigs or anything, which was called In the Bleak Midwinter. Again, I'll put a link up to that on my page. And I found my way around it very, very quickly. I was quite surprised. The nice thing, I have to say this is an English concertina, the nice thing about the English concertina is the notes are the same whether you're pulling it out or pulling it in. That makes a massive difference to somebody with not such the greatest brain in the world. I can't cope with melodeons, I can't cope with the Anglo concertina. The fact that it's doing something different on the way out and the way in, that's great. My husband loves it, perhaps he likes the challenge. I work full time, I have a limited amount of practice. This does me fine. So that's an introduction to what will probably follow a few little posts that I'll put up about my playing and how I got on. I've already put 2 up yesterday, which was brave. One because it was Easter and I love the hymn I Cannot Tell. Most people know it as London Derriere, so I put that up yesterday for Easter. And another little one called The Grenadier and the Lady, which is a tune I've always loved. I watched Far from the Madding Crowd when I was much younger, and I fell in love with the song then. So I was very pleased to be able to play that. But I will probably end this now with playing In the Bleak Midwinter, the beginner's piece that I did about 4 months ago, and you can see how I'm progressing. Thanks. Bye. quite appropriate today because we've got the storm going through outside. It's been called Storm Katie, and we've had gusts of wind up to about 70 miles an hour. Fence panels gone and trees down and locally and all sorts of things. So in the bleak midwinter on a spring morning, it's the 28th of March 2016. The daffodils are out and all the lovely spring flowers are coming up. Outside it's a howling gale. Anyway, that's in the bleak midwinter. My very first piece I learnt to play, and it's funny actually, I look back and I just think actually I'm still a bit rusty, but then I haven't played it for a while. Just goes to show, if you're going to play this, start practicing and keep practicing. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. Bye.